To make this video, I had to do one of the most painful things I have ever endured in my entire life. I just want you to know the sacrifices that I make for your entertainment. And that is, I disconnected my internet voluntarily. I'm going to have PTSD of this day for years to come. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits, and in today's video I want to answer a question that has been brought up multiple times before, usually more in the past than the present, but I wanted to address it today either way. And that is, isn't Plex supposed to work without internet? Isn't that the point of having your own collection, is being able to access your own content without the reliance on an internet connection? And many people have found that sometimes that's not always the case. Before I move too far forward in this video, I do want to say this is part of a monthly Plex sponsorship of my channel. So thank you again to Plex for being a part of my shenanigans. Now, the topic of losing your internet and getting Plex to work is kind of complicated, but really it's simple as long as you just kind of understand what to expect. Now, of course, there's going to be some of the obvious things. If you do not have internet connection in the house of which you have your server, then no, you will not be able to access your content remotely. I feel like that should be given, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's no way for outside devices to communicate with your Plex. Just doesn't work like that. But let's say you're trapped at home, the internet goes down, zombies are attacking, and other things that happen when internet goes down, and you want to watch the latest episode that you're stuck on in Star Trek. And I say latest as in this current 116th cycle of watching the series of whatever Star Trek you enjoy. Now, the first thing I wanted to test with this was live TV, because I have an HD home run, something that hooks up and it brings in airwaves through an antenna. Now, this is something that does not need inherently any internet access to be able to use. Usually. I mean, yes, there are smart enhancements to the live DVR that you can hook up to your Plex server. Things like the thumbnails and the TV programming for the future, which helps greatly with, programming the automatic DVR recording that the Plex media server has the options to do. But at its most root core of it functioning, really, the live TV should not be affected by your internet. Now, I started off with the Plex Media Player app installed on my Windows machine, and I tried to play live TV, and I could not get it to work. It's kind of weird. I don't know why it worked, but just for some reason would not load. It would give me a loading error that says could not tune channel. So I thought to myself, okay, that's strange. Maybe it needs data, metadata to load this for some reason. I have no idea, but let's double check my HD home run to make sure that is working, because let's be honest, I did not test that before I unplugged the internet. So testing I did. I accessed the HD home run interface directly on my local area network, and I was able to copy the stream to a channel and play that with VLC without any issues. It loaded quickly, perfectly, and that just, as I expected, worked perfectly. So VLC can play it, but the Plex Media Player on my Windows machine could not. Little weird. So I decided to jump into the web UI. Now, of course, you cannot access Plex.tv and then launch your control panel because you have no internet access. But if you go directly to your server via the IP address, then you can access your Plex media server. Doing that and going to the live TV/DVR and loading something proved a solid like 50-50 chance it would load. Sometimes I would get the error that it couldn't tune the channel, sometimes it would work. However, in either case, it spun around for a little bit. Give me that little wheel of death saying it's thinking, kinda. I guess I should say processing, because if it was thinking, that means it would have artificial intelligence, in which case it would take over my robot vacuums and murder me in my sleep. So it was processing. So sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. I would jump into the other things I tested, but it doesn't matter because none of those worked whatsoever. And I'll get to that here in a second. But what about your regular content? Content you have stored locally that you could literally just play the raw file off of your own server if you so chose. Well, the weird thing that I experienced with this, and I I don't know why the home screen on both the Plex media player and the server's UI screen did not work properly. It's like it needed an internet connection to bring together the stuff that you wanted on your little home screen. Gotta be honest, it got me a little worried because I thought maybe this wasn't going to work. But if you go directly into your movies or TV shows, in this example, I went into my Star Trek, which I'm currently watching The Next Generation for, the millionth time. I tried to load the episode of which that I've recently left off on, and everything played perfectly. Zero internet connection, but it was still able to make that local area network connection to my server to play those files. And this was the same thing with the Plex media player and the web UI. It played them without any hiccup. So that answers that question. If you're on your PC, you have no internet connection, yes, you can load Plex and you can play your local files without a problem. If you go to plex.tv, you're just gonna get an error screen, but you can still play your local stuff. But even though your main PC works, a ton of people rely on other clients in order to play media. And this is where things got slightly disappointing. And to be fair, I don't blame Plex for the following results. I actually blame the clients themselves. So to start things off, the Xbox. The Xbox will power on, it will let me start the Plex app, but that's it. It can't find anything. Nothing works. It's no internet connection. Sorry. Too bad. So sad. You're mad. I'm glad. I have not said that since I was like 5 years old, but hey, it fits. The next thing up that I actually still have in my house is a Fire TV. I tried to load that and I could not get to the home screen. Nothing loads whatsoever. It's just like, hey, you have no internet connection, fix your internet, and then you can use this device. That's it. So I don't even know if I could launch Plex in any way. I possibly could have, connected the internet, launched Plex, undid the internet, and then see if it would play. But all of that's really kind of a moot point because from my standpoint, it's like if you're stuck at home, the internet goes out, and that means you literally have nothing to do with your life. So you may as well watch some movies or TV shows. Then you would then try to fire up your Fire TV, and it wouldn't work. So I'm just gonna label this not functional. But then I got really curious and I thought about, what about my phone? I have an Apple device. It's an iOS operating system and I could still launch the Plex app. So that was a good sign. But right when that launched on me, it did ask me for local access to my server. So it was smart enough to say, hey, you're connected to Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi has no internet. I need local access. Can I do it? Of course, yes, you can. And wouldn't you know it, the home screen works, the live TV works, and all of my movies and TV shows work without a hitch. It's like it just directly connects to your Plex media server and reads all of the information that should be on there already and delivers that to your mobile device. Wow. I mean, that's amazing, right? It like works like it should. I don't know why things like the Plex media player or the web interface was so flaky on live TV, or for that matter, the home screen. But hey, I'm not gonna argue. Everything works on my phone. Not that I would be watching TV on my phone if I was stuck at home anyway, but still, that's a thing. Now that I think about it, could I like cast that to my Xbox? I probably should have tested that. Now, some things I do wonder are things like the NVIDIA Shield. It's one of the best media players out there. I don't have one. I know, judge me, but I'm planning on it. I am actually kind of curious to know if the NVIDIA Shield is capable of playing while Plex is offline, not having internet connection, but still having that local area connection to your server. So if you happen to have an NVIDIA Shield and feel completely bored, unhook your internet and tell me if it works in the comments down below. Also, because I tested my iPhone, which runs iOS, they also have an Apple TV. I'm gonna go out on a stretch here and assume the Apple TV would still work if you didn't have internet connection. It would still work with Plex. That is a huge assumption just based off of what I saw with my iPhone. So take that with a grain of salt. And Roku, again, don't have one. If you wanna test it, post it down below. But guys, that is it for today. Personally, I find some of the results interesting, especially with the live TV. I don't know why it's flaky. I don't know why the live TV requires internet connection so far past like the metadata that you can get, the channel lineups, the schedules, the poster, stuff like that. I don't understand why you lose the ability sometimes, or even most of the time, to watch live TV when you don't have an internet connection. That was kind of an unexpected result that I got. But the rest, being able to load your TV shows and movies directly both on your iPhone, possibly all iOS devices, and your main computer was not that surprising. A big letdown for me, of course, was the Xbox. It's like, okay, no internet connection, so Plex just doesn't work. Well, guys, again, if you've tested other devices, make sure to leave those in the comments down below. Unfortunately, I don't have all the clients. I usually only do those once every other year. I almost said year. It was like other year. I test multiple clients, and then I may or may not return them. But post those results along with any questions or comments you might have in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a good night and a great day.